Chapter 8. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. There was a dime added to my vault this morning. It came in the form of a red-headed woodpecker, the last, I am told, in the neighborhood. He came by while I was sharing an accomplishment with my family, and we were all sharing a little bit of love. He flew into the backyard on a rather large old pine tree and just kind of walked and hopped his way up the trunk. He moved with intent, and my family laughed and pointed. Then they started moving their heads like the woodpeckers, jerking it back and forth like they were looking for the ants that the bird was undoubtedly seeking. He may not find a new home in our yard, that much is true, but he will always be alive in my heart, ready to jump out when I need him, for me or for somebody else. That's where the real secret lies. It doesn't have to be yours and yours alone. The true treasure is one you can share when the time is right. That's where we start enlarging our scope. We move from the me's to the we's. You see something now you didn't see a little while ago. You see a family around a kitchen table or some such, Papa reading something and the whole family stopping to play with a bird who couldn't care less about their presence. Now, one dime has become two. One for me and one for you. Take just a minute now and look closely at what has just happened. I took a gem from my bankroll and gave it to you. Now I get to keep it in mine, and you have something new in yours. Now it may not have all the original texture, this much is true, but you have the essence of what my family knew at that moment. You share in our love. Therefore, you share in our life. My circle has grown larger for your presence, and it is good. I have been given a great gift through you today as well, for the power of good has grown by its simple sharing. Doubled, then redoubled, as you take the essence of that feeling and make it your own. It'll grow inside of you as it feeds others of its kind. How many days can you double something as little as a penny before it becomes too large to count? 100? 1,000? Try only 30 days to be a millionaire. That is, of course, if every penny doubles every day. That may be an easy principle to dismiss in respect to the feelings we've been discussing, but is it all that unreasonable? I think not, with the proviso that we are all willing to share just one penny just once each day. Once, or twice, or thrice, to reach into our bag of gems and share something which cannot be taken, but can be given freely. How can we do this thing, and for what purpose? If we spend our time sharing our earnings from this life, how can that help in our individual paths? Maybe you remember or have heard of the pet rock. It started out as a little nothing. Somebody painted some eyes on a rock and gave it to their mother, who made 10 of them. These were given as gifts, and the recipients made 10 each. Then someone got the bright idea to mass-produce these things, and the nation came alive with these wonderful pets that were so easy to care for. Within the space of 5 cycles, hundreds of thousands of people had their own pet rock. Some had families even. Papa rocks and Mama rocks, and of course little bitty baby rocks, all living happily ever after on somebody's mantle or knick-knack shelf. What an amazing thing it was. All because some kid painted 2 eyes on a rock and gave it to his mama. Or whatever it was. The nation came alive over rocks with faces, just like you did after the first time you followed your own little voice. Millions of people found something charming in those pet rocks. They wanted them around for what they gave back in their silence and their happy eyes. Now I know none of the people that bought these rocks ever regretted it. They may have called themselves silly after cleaning the dust off of them for 15 years in a row, but you can bet that they got 15 years out of smiles out of them too. Like you, just thinking about all those crazy folks with those funky little rocks. Let me ask you something here. Now, those people got happier with their little rock families. While they were happier, they shared their smiles and their laughter with others. Others felt their energy and carried it with them when they left. So where is it all now? All that good energy from all those millions of people and their millions of rocks. Like the truth, it's out there. I don't care how many people you see out there that are sad. For the moment, they don't count. What does count is the ones that are happy. Well, where do you find these happy people? Well, one place comes to mind for me besides everywhere, and that's a playground filled with children. You too? Coolness. Well, let's try something a little different today. Let's look in the mirror, put on our best faces, and go out into the world and find someone happy. Somebody else that's happy. Because you got the feeling now, don't you? You're beginning to get the picture more clearly now. Not that you didn't get the picture before, we all do. It's just that sometimes we need to be reminded. So now we're putting that knowledge to work, and it's making a difference. A positive difference in your life and in mine. Now, how much farther can we spread the word? How many others already are and just aren't aware of the effect that it's having on the world around them? How many people are simply happy and sharing it without intent with the world around them? Well, the key for us here is intent. Without intent, you might build anything. You might go anywhere. In fact, you might do anything at all. But will you like what comes next in your book of life? Who knows? Without intent, anything can and frequently does happen. You may have decided to go to school and get your degree, and you did. You decided to learn to drive, to dress well, to cook, to clean, to iron your own clothes. You have decided and done many things that are continuously in use in your life today. The results of those decisions have enhanced and continue to enhance your life. Such is the power of intent. Today, or tomorrow if it's too late in your part of the world, go out and find some happy people. Look for them everywhere. Look for their eyes. Listen for the sound of their laughter. Feel the power of their joy. Let your heart lead you as it craves more of that secret sauce, and seek them out. Then, I want you to tell them what you've seen in them. Thank them for their gift to you. Let them know how they touched you with their smile. Get the word out to these folks that they are making a difference in somebody else's life, and that it is good. Check it out. Remember that we are working here to build a better quality of life for ourselves. With this in mind, do an attitude check as you tell these folks about what you've seen. Not only will their smiles brighten, but so will yours. One more thing, my friend. Pay attention to yourself as you do. You'll be glad you did. The missing door. One day while I was rambling across the desert floor, I almost saw a shadow rise, and in the dark, a door. The door was almost barely there above the shifting sand, and there upon the door I saw there almost was a hand. The hand was almost reaching from its chiseled, lonely home, and as I saw it reaching, I knew I almost was alone. I knew my arm beside me was aching for the feel that this doorknob almost promised. Was this promise real? I guess it doesn't matter, for it wasn't really there. It was almost my imaginings, of which I almost was aware. Dry and lost and wandering, a fairly beaten man, just barely not remembering how I came into this land. Long ago I know it was, yet I know it was not me looking at the door that was and was not there to see. Perhaps, like I, you've been there too, and like the door, I've not seen you. Hi everybody, my name is Ron Hatton and I am the author of A Book of Life. Now, since day one when I finished making the book, I studied about bookbinding techniques. It was always too expensive for me to have a publisher do it for me. So what I did was decided to make my own, and the result is this. Now, this is a hand-bound copy, ribbon, paper, all of that folded by hand. And if you should like to have a copy of this for yourself or for someone you love, then all you have to do is email me at gadgetman@gadgetmangroove.com. Just watch the slide. The email address is coming. God bless y'all richly and warmly, and as always, remember to smile for a stranger today. You will both be glad you did. Bye-bye.